Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. On the screen here, you'll see our pretty good prediction here. You'll see um, it's not perfect, It was a prediction we made a month ago, our final presidential election prediction. We had predicted that Donald Trump would seize 287 electoral votes, only picking up one Rust Belt state, which was Pennsylvania. Now, although we favor Donald Trump, that doesn't mean we believe Donald Trump will win because we favor him to win the election. We want him to win the election. Therefore, that doesn't mean we think he's going to win. Well, apparently liberals have a thing where every time they feel they're rooting for a candidate, they go into complete denial. And we're going to see this today about this deranged liberal woman. This comes at a very few hours after Red Eagle Politics' video reacting to this deranged liberal woman. I'm saying, you know what? Since I'm basically a Red Eagle Politics ripoff, I'm going to admit that. I'm going to do it too, because I'm not saying we're in a rivalry. He's way too big for a rivalry. I'm just saying. I'm saying, hey, he's big enough big enough not to copy, but to act as a curriculum. So that's why I'm kind of using his curriculum. But yeah, there you go. That's why we're so similar. Well, in terms of just randomly posting at the same day. But, I do admire him very much. He is a great inspiration to me, and I hope he hears this someday. But anyway, we take a look at my prediction. Obviously, this was not Red Eagle Politics' prediction. Red Eagle Politics got this 100% right. He had Wisconsin. He had Trump carry every single state that he actually won, which was amazing. I gave Wisconsin and Michigan states that went to Kamala Harris to Donald Trump. Why did I have those states go to Donald Trump, to Kamala Harris? Well, I was concerned. So it has to do mainly with the polling there. Polling, fundraising, the fact that Kamala Harris was retrieving money from Wisconsin to put into Pennsylvania, and that's why I put Pennsylvania as red. The fact that she was retrieving money from Wisconsin shows that she has a lot of support there. Not to mention, college students and the institutions would have made a difference. Michigan, same deal. I believed Michigan, it had always been in favors for Democrats through polls, but obviously this election and other previous elections have proved that polls don't matter. Although, yes, this was not my absolute prediction was not right. We were right on the winner. It was Donald J. Trump, and we were, as you know, cautiously looking at and examining Donald Trump all the way through. Here's the deal, though. I got a lot of backlash throughout this election season because in some predictions, I had Kamala Harris winning. And a lot of people called me a Kamala Harris supporter. I'm not. And I'm going to definitively say this. I'm not like this. I refuse to be like that liberal woman we're going to be talking about today. I refuse to be like Alan Lichtman. I refuse to be like Nate Silver, where they're so Trump deranged, where they outlaw any sort of situation or possibility of the opponent winning. Well, I looked while Kamala Harris was surging, quote unquote. I was not going to rule out the possibility that she would win. Therefore, looking at North Carolina, Georgia, at the time I had her win those states. Seeing that the energy there, I believed, it really does depend, honestly. I do not know if she was in that honeymoon phase in August, if that election was held today, it would have been going for her. I do not know. But ultimately, when it comes to this election, what you're seeing on the board, we had Donald Trump win because then again, the tides were turning into his favor. And it just so happened that he got to carry 287 votes. We are biased. I am biased. I am dead set of Donald Trump winning. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to walk in cautiously. But on election day, I walked in expecting that Donald Trump won thanks to examining doomsday scenarios and good day scenarios. A good night scenario in this case of Donald Trump winning. What was the likelihood? And obviously Donald Trump was likely going to become president due to history, right? History usually repeats itself. History always wins at the end of the night. And a Kamala Harris victory, and this is why I'm so adamant and just so confused when Alan Lichtman says this is so unprecedented. No. Kamala Harris winning is unprecedented. That means the Van Buren curse would be broken. The Van Buren curse, no president being elected since, that means, I know, not a vice president not taking office after the president. That is, the vice president was never elected president. Only times, 1836 and 1988. Van Buren and Bush. Kamala Harris tried to make that happen. It didn't work. Factor B, she's running in a very, very tight climate. And usually when you're running in a tough climate, it never goes your way. And this would be the first time it did go her way. And that's why I'm like, okay, this would be unprecedented. So obviously, no, Alec Lichtman is obviously a biased turd. And guess who else is a biased turd? It's going to be this woman. Now, I want to give credit to the person we're reacting to. I know he obviously is cool with, I think he's cool because, not to mention, Depressed Ginger has reacted. And I got to be honest, The Hill was embarrassed for featuring this crazy lady right here on her prediction. And so much that they decided to take down the whole entire footage. I couldn't find the footage anywhere. I even typed it up on the bar link and it said that the video had been removed. So, no to him. This video we're viewing is by Ovation Eddie 2. All credit goes to him. I'm assuming this is okay, seeing that Depressed Ginger did this, was reacting to his take. But I'll try my best to go over and go past his reaction because I don't want to rip off his content. Just let him know I'm not in any way trying to steal his of course, views and this video that he very well constructed. But we are going to go ahead and but watch this terrible prediction and basically conclude it. Let's go. This is The Hill. This is the host from The Hill, and here's this deranged woman, deranged analyst, and she should be fired. Alan Lichtman, not bad at all compared to this woman. I mean, I'll give it to her. She doesn't have the arrogant attitude, and I appreciate that. But obviously, her biasness is overwhelming. So let's go ahead and take a look at this take.
My prediction. What do you say, Nomiki?
Okay, so let's show my map. Can we do that? All right. I know you guys are like, you're
what? Right away. The moderate viewer on The Hill is already flipping out. Yeah, he knows this is crazy.
Wait, are you insane?
Okay, I saw it.
Okay, this is, of course, Mr. I want to skip him because, I want his words to be in his video, and I don't want this to be a rip-off of his video. This is a respect thing. But back to what he was saying.
Out here, explain.
And it was fun to see her face at the end when she saw the real man.
Let me explain.
Oh my God.
Hear me out. Okay, I've been predicting a landslide for at least 3 weeks now. Hear me out.
And this is the fact here. How do you get a landslide out of this? Okay, I'm curious to know what she thinks. She's going to explain, and I'm going to debunk this all. This is all Trump derangement.
Hear me out. All right. Okay, so first off, 2016, Donald Trump has a smaller coalition than 2020 and 2016. 2016 was his biggest coalition. He had a lot more older voters at that time.
Wrong. 2016, he won. But 2020, he got more votes. I think that needs to be added. She doesn't add that. I don't know where she got that biggest coalition. Yeah, he had a better chance of winning. The polls were closer, but then at the end of the day, 2020 was a huge improvement than 2016, despite him losing. Let's continue on.
Since then, it's been 8 years. Several folks, older voters, have unfortunately died. Also,
literally, no. Older folks have gotten woke. I'm going to be honest. Let's take a look at that. Speaking of which, let's see how much older folks ended up voting in this election. Well, in the last election, older folks voted for Trump by 2 points. Okay? They voted for Trump by 2 points. Why are older folks going more left? Well, maybe half of it is because they have seen the racism, but I mostly think it's because of the social programs that they are getting from. So let's go ahead. I want to see age. Age. And age, obviously, is a big word in this election. I just want to go to voting demographics. This is never going to go. Okay, age by gender. Okay. 65 and older. Look at that. 50 for Donald Trump. 49 for Kamala Harris. Why is that so? For someone so secular like Kamala Harris, so anti-Christian, well, then again, a lot of older folks are Christians. They haven't moved away from that. They just have different reasons of voting. They just might not like Donald Trump's character. They grew up during a time where it's all civil and presidential. Well, you can't necessarily say Kamala Harris and the Democrats are like that too, but here's the deal. The liberal media, which the older folks believe, by the way, because they grew up in a time where the media was honest. The media wasn't woke. It wasn't corrupt. So it's very hard for them to believe and see that the media is woke and corrupt. That's factor number 8. It's just Medicare. Also, they like the free health care. They want universal health care, the blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, a lot of older folks support Bernie Sanders. Keep in mind of that. The leftist older Americans, they support Bernie Sanders mostly because Bernie Sanders, you know how he feels about free Medicare and Medicaid. But yeah, it's mainly due to health care, right? Because they're dying. No, I want to say they're dying. Their health is getting more, of course, critical. And I'm not saying Republicans don't support that. Democrats overly support it. And they project that. And we know the liberal media also projects that. And that's another factor why older Americans support that's all because the liberal media, the older Americans, like I said before, they lived in a time where media was transparent and there was no biasness. Obviously, there's biasness, but a lot of older Americans believed at the time, like a lot of them now, believe that the liberal media, this is what they do all the time. It hasn't changed. They must be telling the truth because they're in the media. That's because they grew up during a transparent media. So they are more likely to believe the liberal lies, believe it or not. Although we have a lot of based older Americans and patriots that actually can filter out the liberal lies. So that is why. And the theory that, the older people are dying, blah, blah, blah. No. First off, lady, they don't die like that. Listen, we're still through the silent generation, still surviving. Jimmy Carter's part of way before the silent generation. His generation's gone. He's probably the only silent generation guy left. And he's still trucking. You got my grandparents, she's a part of the silent generation. I'm sure we have a lot of grandparents, people that are 80, 90, they're a part of the Joe Biden. He's a part of the silent generation. I think that's post-war, actually. No, post-war is 1945 and onward. Silent generation is during World War and before the Great Depression. But yes, you gotta look that up. But the fact of the matter is there are still older Americans, and the theory that they're dying, well, you can say that out louder because the woke left, especially today, since Daniel Penny was acquitted by the jury in New York, this lady can go and tell them that, you know what, all the old folks are dying. Meaning that all the racists, I mean, I'm not trying to say old folks are racist, but they're saying all the older folks are dying. She's making it sound like they're all Trump supporters. We know for a fact that what were the racists, the former supporters of segregation, they're gone. They're gone. That part of the silent generation, the early phase of the silent generation is gone. So this lady wants to believe that old people are dying really quickly. You can go turn around and tell that to the BLM and the NAACP that are crying in a corner because a man was acquitted for defending his life. Okay? You can go tell them that. There are less racists in America than there are now, period. But going onward.
COVID deaths. So let's just start with...
And she's saying they're all dying from COVID? No, lady, come on, no. Listen, more people died from COVID before the election than after. Okay? Factor B. People die. This isn't the bubonic plague where it wiped off half the population. No. Yes, it took out 1 million people. Not saying it didn't. But this lady thinks it has an impact on the electoral map. No way. And especially like this lady doesn't even know what she's talking about.
Age, right? She is doing far better than any other Democrat since 2000, as I've said.
Wrong. Well, yeah, kinda. You're right about that when it comes to fundraising, but we knew deep down that there was something not right about the Kamala Harris campaign. Continue.
Before, with older voters. R plus 13 average, Republican plus 13 for those voters over 50. And she is winning with them, especially with women, but also with men. He's only doing well with one demographic, and that is young men under the age of 40 who are the least reliable voters. That's why he's doing the full podcast thing. It's why every Republican means 40, also with men. He's only doing well with one demographic, and that is young men under the age...
This lady must be in denial about Trump's great and grand polling numbers among African Americans. You realize there are polls out there that say Trump is losing, Kamala Harris is losing. She's winning the black vote by 60%. That's a huge underperformance to Joe Biden's 90%. Okay? And in the end of the day, she ended up winning by the black vote by 85%. That was an embarrassment. A huge embarrassment. Compared to what the polls originally said. Yeah, I knew it was going to be better than what the polls were saying. But you get what I'm saying here. That's not true, lady. You know it's true. Stop lying to yourself. No, you're not lying. You're trying to gaslight. Oh, no. Trump, she's doing very well with African-American voters. She's doing very well with every voter. Trump is doing well with young men. What? No, Trump is going to take people that are frustrated with the administration, like every single election. Like people that were frustrated with the Trump administration in 2016, they voted for Biden. People that were frustrated with the Obama administration in 2016, they voted for Trump. People that were frustrated about the Obama administration in 2012, they voted for Romney. It's just a pattern. Lady thinks, oh, yeah, they're frustrated, but they'll vote in line. I'm sure the NPCs will, but I don't think the NPCs are really frustrated, to be honest. I don't think they care. I think they're just projecting. But good take from not even yet.
40 who are the least reliable voters. That's why he's doing the full podcast thing. It's why every
least reliable. Okay.
Republican, mainstream Republican, is trying to get him to expand his coalition. He has a smaller coalition since 2020, since storming the Capitol, and we're seeing that in the exit polls already. People saying things like, yeah, I voted for him in 2020, but January 6th happened.
And notice no one's talking about it except the liberal media. And we actually got people, union workers, former Democrats, that didn't even know what January 6th was. I didn't necessarily know what they were why they were mad. See? And not to mention this is normal in 2024. People riot, people get angry, and people lose their temper all the time and light things on fire. it doesn't. They don't think, oh, it's the right that's doing it. Oh, it's the left that's doing it. No, it's just they think very bluntly. Oh, people are mad. They're setting things on fire. That's how they think of it. They don't really pay attention of which side is which. They don't care. It's none of their business. Most people care about putting food on the table. But back again.
She is doing exceedingly well, more than in the past, with young women women are the most reliable voters. And an exit
True, we saw that in demographics.
polls in some states, she's doubling women to men in these early voting states. It is double the number of women voting for men.
You effectively think the
And
poll. Okay, go
let
ahead.
me keep going.
It's all about her.
Okay. Also, polls skew older.
This guy's right. This girl's insane.
The polls have been hyper-corrected, as we know, to reflect 2016 concerns. But they also skew older, and she is doing not just very well with older voters, but also with younger voters. The only demographic he's doing well with is young men at this point. He took 2 weeks ago, he was getting a few points from African Americans.
I'm surprised she didn't even cancel all young men, even though he's getting more African Americans. That's been making the news more. It's weird.
That's balanced out to 2020 levels. And then last...
I don't know what this lady is looking at. This is ridiculous. This is my first time, by the way, watching this, in case you can already tell. I'm pausing the video so much. Yeah, this lady... I'm starting to think this is an SNL skit. This literally is a joke. Literally. This lady, come on. Even I know. Like, I am an analyst. I'm not labeled an analyst. I'm not a well-known analyst. But guess what? I know how to be transparent. I know how to point out the flaws of each candidate unbiasedly. I point out Trump's flaws all the time. Nope, Kamala has nothing to work on. Nope. She is already go 394 whatever electoral votes, so unprecedented and so unrealistic. It's just flat out, and she denies voter registration, which is a key into predicting elections. Just say.
At least a community I have worked for the last 8 years with very deeply, the Puerto Rican community and Latino folks. And I think what happened...
Look at this guy. Yeah, she's like,
at Madison Square Garden is going to have a reverberating effect. In Pennsylvania alone, there are 450,000 Puerto Rican voters, 680,000 Latino voters.
But how many of those voters are offended by a joke? Which was taken out of context, by the way. I mean, this guy called Puerto Rico a pile of garbage. It could mean anything. It could mean this lady thinks it's about race. No, it's actually a serious situation. Puerto Rico has a pollution problem. And this lady, I have major doubts that she knows it because she is projecting her very low IQ, unless it's something that benefits her. But like I said in that Madison Square Garden video, it doesn't even matter. How many people protested after Madison Square Garden? Nobody. No one! Except for two NPCs. Two NPC people that, I don't know, they might not even be Puerto Rican. They might have been paid to carry a Puerto Rican flag around Trump's Pennsylvania rally. It's just, and that's all we saw. And this lady thinks there's going to be a giant wave of Puerto Rican voters. No. If it was a giant wave, we'd be seeing a George Floyd effect. Trump's campaign would crash with fundraising. His polls would crash. Did it? No, it didn't. So the effect, we know the effect didn't work, even when this was recorded. And I'm right, this guy is right here. This guy is absolutely base for making this hideous face, because he knows very well that this girl has been taken over by the demons of the Democrat Party. She is possessed, all reasoning is gone, and all but talking points and unrealistic, totally biased projecting is taking place. So
happened
continue.
at Madison Square Garden is going to have a reverberating effect. In Pennsylvania alone, there are 450,000 Puerto Rican voters,
She knows that.
680,000 Latino voters, and right now it seems like she is really pulling them back into her favor, and I think it's all going to come down to Reading, Pennsylvania, where they closed out the election. It is, I'm not saying it's going to be a landslide in some of these states, but
No, lady, you literally just shaded them all in dark blue. And now you're walking that back? Lady, if you're not sure if it's going to be a landslide in all these states, then just use the dark blue and the red. Just use one shade of red and blue like I do all the time. Because I don't want to hit the wrong message. Come on, lady. This lady is just driving me insane.
I agree with you. It's going to come down to Pennsylvania, and that she could win Pennsylvania. That is my prediction. But you have her winning
Okay, I can respect that.
Texas and Florida.
Puerto Rican.
I know. Florida lady. Oh, this is insane. She's probably tilting Florida in the least blue, color of blue, mainly because she believes in the left-wing talking points that it's a racist state. Like, oh, it's too right-wing, but she'll still win. It's probably the least likely to go to her. But look at her. Cheesy look. You would at least put it as a toss-up, but she goes, no, it's going to go blue. I want to know why Nebraska's lighter than Kansas. Weird. Very weird. And why is Montana? And we know Montana. She's probably going all the way back to 2008, where Montana was surprisingly very close. No one actually, and if you guys aren't aware, Montana was not counted as a toss-up state in 2008. I watched that coverage. They did not have Montana as a toss-up state. They said it was likely Republican, leaning Republican. There were some networks that said it was going to be tossed up, but this was counted to be like a Minnesota, a Virginia in 2024, and something like that. Otherwise, John McCain has had a commanding lead all the way through. No real points where Barack Obama was making advantage in that state. And it turned out to be this close. No one was expecting that. And at the end of the day, the panels were saying, oh, Barack Obama could win. This lady right here thinks, oh, they're voting because of race. No, they're not. A vast amount of Montanans didn't care. They voted for Barack Obama not because they wanted to make history. No, they voted because they are working Americans, right? Barack Obama pulled tons and tons and tons of working Americans. And that ultimately resulted to him making the state so compatible. This is a big worker state. It's a libertarian state. It's a blue-collar, red-collar state. And all those different communities came out. Even the college vote really helped benefit Barack Obama in the state. But ultimately, the state, although did go for Bill Clinton 1992, has evolved into a pretty red state. It has been solidified as a red state in 2000, 2004. So ultimately, it was not enough to go blue. And for some reason, this lady says, oh, the woman will play a role in that state. Yeah, sort of like the woman played the role in 2008. Didn't really flip. This lady has Montana's the most tossed up state. This guy, honestly, I want to know how his predictions like. He's the most realistic.
Okay. I will wear a White Dudes for Harris t-shirt on this show.
Texas was already
if
kind
she
of
wins Texas and Florida. There is no way on God's green earth. There's no way on
I know, there's no way. Obviously.
God's green earth that's going
She's
to happen.
probably looking at that disastrous Houston rally that she had that drove away so many voters. She thinks it was a successful rally. No, it wasn't. Because she said that there was going to be a Beyonce show. Guess what? Was it Beyonce or Taylor Swift? I think it was Beyonce. She gave her little pro-choice speech and then she left the stage. And then Kamala Harris came up and they booed her! Boo! And she's saying it's a success? Oh, they're so loud! Because they're mad. They literally got scammed into a Beyonce rally. Their time. They canceled all their plans to see a Beyonce rally a Beyonce song that didn't even happen. Beyonce concert. Free concert! Nothing's free, by the way. If they say free concert, don't go to it. Don't go. You know it's a scam. And not surprised here. Iowa, I don't know. Was this taken before the Des Moines Register poll that dropped? Maybe her reason is because older women are voting. I don't think that's going to result in Iowa going that blue, though. You need farmers. And Trump has the farming vote. Oh, she says, tariffs! Tariffs! Trump and his tariffs! Well, here's the thing. In 2020, that's when the Trump tariffs were very devastating to farmers. And farmers still stayed with Trump. Iowa went more right compared to 2016. Nebraska wasn't leaning red like this lady wants it to believe. It was solid red. Solid! So yeah, she's probably in devastation right now. And she is hoping more because she realized that this prediction is absurd. I'm surprised she's about Ohio, though. That's probably the only thing she got right, along with Alaska. The right shade of color. But seriously.
That is insane.
The problem with Democrats, and I got a lot
You think the polls are massively wrong in Trump's favor? That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying that they're biased. I think there's a lot of theories about that. I'm saying that they're massively wrong because we are...
And despite Trump being an overperformer, I'm just saying...
We're dealing with a 2016, which was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And 2020, which was COVID, where everybody was mailing in their votes, and using off-cycle elections to model off of 2022, which also reflects what I'm saying in terms of coalitions shrinking, women, not just because of reproductive rights. She's obviously the first woman candidate. He speaks very disparagingly of women. But also Texas and Florida, the Democrats just pulled out of those states.
Yeah.
I covered the DNC.
Because they know it's impossible
Watch this guy.
to win them.
No. Well, no, because the
No. Conspiracy theory.
model of Democratic Party at the time was very much like, we're not funding state parties anymore. That is a major problem that occurred out of Barack Obama's presidency. They used to fund every single state party. That was the 50-state strategy. Howard Dean popularized that. And then they pulled out and they put them all into the DNC for the presidential election because there's more money there. They wanted to put all the money into ads. And as a result, when you have a state party, you're going to have a legislature taken over. Arizona became blue in 2006. I worked on that campaign.
Okay, wait, hang on. Yeah, she worked on that campaign. Sure, yeah, 2006. Yeah, but here's the thing. I think it was Janito Napolitano or Janet Napolitano, whatever her name is. It's a Hispanic name. Napolitano. That's a gubernatorial race. 2006, by the way. When was 2006? 17! Over 17! 18 years ago, lady! Update! Like, everything that happened in 2006, like your Montana prediction, thinking it's going to go light red, tilting Republican like it did in 2008, not going to happen. 20 years ago. Forget it. It's not even 20 years ago, but still, decade ago. That's irrelevant. Politics updated. Guess what? We're living through something called the seventh party system. 2016, you should know about it. It's all about Trump. Her predictions evolving around politics that came right before Trump. Like, this is so easy to call out. A 7-year-old could call this out, right? A 7-year-old that's been paying attention right now to the political shifts. It doesn't take an analyst. It takes a normal person with a brain. I'm slapping my piece of paper. Never mind. I don't know if that bothered you all. But you get what I'm saying. Fascinating. This is how delusional they are. And she's setting herself up for a massive disappointment. I refuse to do that. I had Kamala Harris winning at some point, and I switched it back because it seemed that Kamala Harris was losing support. I was right. I refused to go in, and that's the thing. I listen to everyone. I listen to, and I'm not blaming Red Eagle Politics, but Red Eagle Politics, by fact, he said it was going to be a red wave. Everyone said it was going to be a red wave, not just him. I believed them all. And was it a red wave? No, it wasn't. So I'm like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not listening to anybody. I'm going to keep myself an open mind. I'll give her credit. She is thinking for herself. But that's what Democrats reject. It like actual fundamental facts if it doesn't go into their favor. This is a Democrat thing.
Campaign. And then what happened? Barack Obama gets elected. They pull the funding from the state pocket.
Yeah, that's all 10 years ago. Lady, catch up.
And he replaces the governor, Napolitano, and a Republican wins the governorship of Arizona. So we actually were blue in 2006.
Yeah, 2006 was like 2006, almost 20 years ago, guys. It's not totally, but 2026, 20 years. Yeah, how old was I in 2006? I was 3. I was 2. Lady, come on. You're making me look bad. You're acting like I'm a 12-year-old, and a lot of my trolls will call me that. But seriously, you're acting like everyone is 10 years younger than what they actually are. No. And that's just insulting. And you're just insulting this guy right here, thinking with your pure delusion, thinking he's not so stupid to believe your analysis. And I'm proud of this guy, despite he actually thinking Harris is going to win. I'm proud that he actually is being transparent and saying, you know what, all these red states that she's covering, they're not going for her. They're not going for Harris. Period.
Democrats don't fund their parties. Yeah, Republicans are going to win. So now we have an opportunity to invest in the states.
After 20, the midterms, which were not as good for Republicans as expected, and that has affected how I draw my map here. But the bright spot for them was Florida.
And plus, the midterms are done. Midterms. Sure, it didn't, to a point, it kind of, that's why we were concerned. That's why I was concerned about 2024. That's why I was concerned about 2023. They do have an impact. As the opposing party, you have to do well in the midterms. Republicans now can relax during the midterms because they, ideally, it's very normal for the current serving party to lose the midterms. Very normal. But Democrats, look at that smile, bro. Look at her. She's so happy. No. But that guy was saying, that's why we were concerned. Yeah, Democrats lucked out really big in 2022. And that's why they were, I'm respecting this guy. This guy, he is more transparent than, she has zero transparency. But yeah, she probably leaking out the transparency all by her mouth. But let's go ahead. I want to continue to see what bogusness she has to say with these midterms.
But Ron DeSantis crushed it. It has been turned into such a red state.
He's a governor.
Fight for 15, Planned Parenthood was on the ballot, and Democrats won with those issues.
On earth.
Nostradamus, that's what you can call me. Nostradamus,
okay, I think this is this guy.
Fox News Ken.
That's what you can call me.
I think this is this guy's prediction, which obviously is actually pretty Pennsylvania. This is this guy's prediction. Very good, actually. Very close. More realistic. He had North Carolina. He had Arizona. He had Georgia. He had Nevada go for Trump. But what I would say is, like I've said to you all, there is a great chance that Donald Trump would at least carry that, at least one Rust Belt state, because he is performing very well with labor unions. You take one, just one. But this lady would just say, nope, just wipe them all. Just take them all. Nope. Just one Rust Belt state. That's all I said. It will be most likely Wisconsin, because Wisconsin, Donald Trump had to perform just less than 1 point to win it. And he absolutely did, unless it was actually the most liberal out of the swing states. But, I knew that things were changing in Wisconsin. Things were absolutely changing. More students are going to Wisconsin. And eventually, I fear it will happen, but it very well could. Wisconsin will become like Minnesota. It absolutely could, because this is the exact pattern how Minnesota became. Students came to Minnesota, they stayed there, and then it turns blue.
Nostradamus, that's what you can call me.
Fox News Ken.
Okay, this guy is going over the Fox News projections. So let's go ahead.
That's no Miki Stradamus. I got it.
Nostradamus.
All right, well, there you have it.
One more. Gotta say it. This is science. My astrologer, everyone.
I don't think you understand science. I don't think you understand politics.
Twitter's astrologer.
Yeah, look at this guy. Look at him. Look at, like, she's probably embarrassed that he's sitting here right in front of her.
She said that Kamala Harris is going to win. She's been
Really?
taking
Did you see?
Your whatever your apprentice friend says Kamala Harris is going to win. My father said Kamala Harris was going to win. He's Republican. Oh, I was so scared. No, I wasn't, because I knew the facts. I knew the facts. I knew what the liberals were doing. They were projecting. The media was projecting. They were making Kamala Harris look like a big thing that he was, and this is what they want. They want people to admit that she was going to win. He was going to win. It's true. Yes, I had Kamala Harris winning during the period where, you know what, this is actually a good reality, the coalition she was forming, but then that just sippered away. And this lady doesn't seem to adapt that whatsoever.
See that Mudang, the little
hippo.
Cute little hippo thing, they give a Trump cake and a Kamala cake, and he went and ate the Trump cake. So they're saying that is an omen, predicting a Trump win.
Pygmy Hippo was given the choice between two fruitcakes. One cake carved with Donald Trump's name, the other Kamala Harris. In the video, Mudang is seen eating the fruitcake with Mr. Trump's name.
Yum. Moose.
And he's the one that predicted the election. Although I don't think that hippos they're not a religious animal. I don't think they can predict elections. I think it's so coincidental, honestly.
Nostradamus has picked Donald Trump. There you go.
Those are our predictions there. Let us know in the comments or on social media if you you probably think
laughing
I'm
her
wrong.
head off like we're all dumb. No, lady. We're laughing right now.
And that Nomiki is really wrong. Again, not in...
Yep. He doesn't need to say what he's going to say. We know she's wrong. That's just it.
I'm not telling you what I want to happen or endorsement. It's just my little guess. Could be wrong. If Trump wins, I will not be surprised. Maybe we'll know tomorrow. Maybe we won't. But we will be.
She's like, no, it's not going to happen.
About it all tonight on the Hill special election coverage, and back here tomorrow. See you then.
I'm a little uneasy about it, even though my predictions are that she
Your
will have a
predictions were
landslide.
very confident. If we want to return to those from this morning, you said that you thought Kamala Harris was going to win Texas and Florida
By slight margins.
What? By slight well, hang on. Does this look like... Yeah, Florida was slight. Texas doesn't look slight. That's over 5 points. Slight margins. Wrong. Same lady, I want to believe.
You said that you thought Kamala Harris was going to win Texas and Florida.
No
By
glasses.
slight margins. We're right now. I'm looking right now. Right now, we are still. It's 54-45 in Florida, and we don't have all of our votes in. Some major cities haven't come in yet. I mean, that's what you wait for, is these major cities take longer to pull up their votes. Orlando.
She's probably devastated to see Miami did. I'm just saying.
It has a large Puerto Rican population.
Oh, it's all about the Puerto Ricans! That's what matters, right? Puerto Ricans. Like, they're all one by one is supposed to be offended by this silly joke. I can guarantee you, a majority of Puerto Ricans don't even care. I'm just saying.
We'll see if the Boricuas turn out for Kamala Harris in response to...
Therefore, they must go for Kamala Harris. Like, why not they just stay at home? Oh, I was going to go for Trump, but I don't think I'm going to go for Kamala Harris. This lady's just not considering different outcomes. She's just stuck on her way. What she wants to happen. She's just stuck on it.
Donald Trump. Listen, it's still tight. I said Texas and Florida could be Democratic.
I will repeat the promise I made to you this morning, where if those two states go for Kamala Harris, I will wear a White Dudes for Harris t-shirt on Rising the next day. That's my promise.
I'll have it signed by the White Dudes for Harris.
Wonderful.
The guys organizing.
Can't wait for that.
That Sky News is predicting that Donald Trump has won Florida.
With former Trump.
I mean, it's done, right? It's been called now for Trump, so
It is.
your prediction is out the window. I will not have to wear my my
It's
White shirt on the show tomorrow. I was confident enough that I was not gonna have to do it. So far, the vibes I'm hearing from Trump people is that they're reasonably pleased. But of course, last election, we had the same situation where a lot of the early returns.
And the fact that Trump won Florida that quickly is a doom spot. It's obviously not good news for her.
Favorable to Trump, and then they watched that lead evaporate as it went later and later into the night, as you get, counting mail-in ballots from other places, that kind of thing. Then that it evens out, and that was the frustration watching that happen. We could be in for an exact repeat of that, but I know that many Republican commentators are feeling happy right now. The New York Times election dial.
She's like so silent. She's coping.
Up and running, and right now it's pointed like, oop, this way, a little bit, in Trump's favor.
It's going to go back. It's going to go back. I mean,
keep in mind, Kamala Harris never even led in the electoral vote. Like, through the night, she never took the lead. Just saying.
Again, we're seeing these early states are generally more conservative states.
Yeah.
There's no big shockers here. I mean, I'm looking at North Carolina. That's the one I really am watching.
Welcome back to The Hill's live election night coverage. I'm Robbie Suave, host of Rising, and the situation, things are getting a little bit clearer, and Trump people have some definite, tangible reasons for optimism, with Georgia and North Carolina very likely being in the Trump column. They've both been called now by Decision Desk HQ. Other networks have not yet called them, but the New York Times has them as very likely Trump wins, so that would be a pickup for Trump in Georgia. That's a state that the Democrat Joe Biden won last time. Basically, what the state of the race is similar to what I said on our last appearance. Kamala Harris's creative alternative paths to winning this election are rapidly closing. We have basically already closed the door on the situation where she somehow marvelously outperforms the poll. The idea that Iowa, the things that were giving hopes, Ralston, Seltzer, the things that were giving hope, those are done. Those were not accurate. Iowa has been called for Trump. He's won there massively.
And he was going to win there anyway. What's up with Ann Selzer and all these analysts saying would go for Kamala Harris? She never won a poll other than that BS poll. That's the only poll she ended up winning. And that was a 4-way race. She lucked out in that poll. But that was and why is Ann Selzer retiring again? Just a thought.
As expected, prior to that outlier poll, which we now know was not representing any hidden, unrealized Kamala Harris. She is not winning some landslide election. That's not happening. Now, she could still win.
She could still win. No, this guy. No, he can't. You realize how election night works, right? When it shifts the other way, shifts a certain way for a candidate, and it accelerates like the way that it did this time of the night where it's recording, where he's most likely going to win Georgia. There's no way Kamala Harris can win. The betting odds went up to 80% for Donald Trump in Poly Market. There is no way. Kamala Harris was underperforming. Donald Trump is over 230. With Georgia, actually. He was, by the time, at 245 electoral votes. He's just saying that to cool Miss Tangible right here. You can see that face of disappointment. No, it's not looking good. It's really not looking good. It's actually way in favor for Donald Trump. If you see Georgia already called, in the swing states, all in favor for Trump, Kamala Harris is done. There's nothing she can make up.
Because we haven't gone to the blue wall states.
Oh, yeah, but the blue wall states are already going red. You can go in county results. She is underperforming in Oakland County in Michigan, underperforming in Northampton County and Bucks County. She is underperforming in the Philadelphia, in the Metro beyond. She's underperforming in Milwaukee, Dane County. It's done. Like, what else is there for you to make up? When you are underperforming in those streak of counties, you know that it's over. It's over. And all it takes is you just need one blue wall state. Just one blue wall state, and you win. And I think this lady knows it. That's why she's not really lifting up. No.
Holds on, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. She can still be the next president.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
But if I were the Democrats, I'd be starting to get a little bit nervous. I was just listening to MSNBC. They're starting to get a little nervous based on the Oakland County in Michigan return.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
For Kamala Harris, which right now look closer to the Hillary numbers than the Joe Biden numbers, which would be doom. That would be the end.
It's like panicking. I was calling them up like crazy. Like, what is it going to take? Just get off your couch, please. Just do me a favor. Just one thing in life. Just vote for Kamala Harris.
But it's...
I'm glad she didn't get in. This lady wouldn't know what she's up for if she was president. And I think she'd still vote Democrat in the next election because this is how these people are.
But it's still up in the air, but I know...
It's not up the air. It's Donald Trump. By that time, I was already in bed before Georgia was called because I went to bed knowing, yep, Donald Trump's going to be the president. I woke up confident, flipped up my computer, and there you go. Donald Trump reached over 280 electoral votes. Michigan, Nevada, Alaska, and Arizona weren't called. That's what it looked like. I was there. So I myself was confident Donald Trump would win. These people are drugged up with copium.
Oh, there are going to be Democrats who are nervous because, again, the situation where she just surprised everyone, she proved the polls wrong, and there was this understated, unrealized, unrecognized wave for her. That ain't going to happen. And I'll be back on Rising.
Look at
tomorrow
that
morning.
face.
Tune into that for analysis and the latest.
That's the face that I've been seeing around.
Thank you.
Poor prediction. Bravo! Thank you! Okay, yeah. This video's long. But you get what I'm saying. Just hilarious. Just absurd. It shows how low these people are transparent. So yeah, going back to my record, I'm proud of my prediction. Not unlike her. I was wrong with the Electoral College by any means. I did predict Trump won, and I was right. But you know what? I supported Trump all the way. I wanted him to win. I was not sure how I would respond if Kamala Harris won, honestly. I got better, of course, when I was playing with that idea she would win. And I eventually said, you know what? If she wins, we're going to do what Harry Sisson said eventually. We're going to be the resistance. We're going to go and we're going to win in 2025. We're going to win in 2026. We're going to win in 2027. And we're going to definitely win in 2028. But the difference is we're going to win in all three elections in order to make that happen. That was the resistance plan. And of course, Harry Sisson has to adapt that plan and take that. But, we're still going to win. We're still going to win in 2025. We're still going to win in 2026. And we're still going to win in 2027 and definitely in 2028. You cannot say we aren't if we never tried. And we haven't even entered the field. We are going to do what we can because we have to fight in these less important elections, which will be in 2025, the New Jersey and Virginia race. We have to fight there. We have to do good there because if we do good in these off-year elections and midterm elections, that will determine our strength for 2028 and if that's actually going to happen. But looking at this prediction compared to the monstrosity of this prediction, obviously, it's not looking that good. I can't even pull it up. I think YouTube's sick of it, seeing it. But yeah, I mean, I can only feel bad for so much for this lady. I kind of feel bad that she's getting all the attention. But then again, you gotta expect when you take this personal opinion and make it public, people are gonna laugh at you, and that's never gonna stop. And I hate to be that part of that crowd, but then again, we got to make sure that analysts don't follow that example. We don't mean to be disrespectful. We got to use this as a teaching moment for other analysts. Alan Lichtman, use him as a teaching prop for other analysts. Do not follow those type of people. Now, this video has gotten extremely long. It's already 55 minutes going on. Do you think I can, you know what? I guess I can do it. I will sacrifice more time for everyone. Because I want to see if this would have happened, this actual prediction would have happened, what would demographics look like? Well, in her prediction, Kamala Harris would have had to regain, well, let's start off with white non-college. All right, white non-college voters would have to drop down significantly. Of course, that's what resulted to Florida flipping. College voters, I would have put that up to 60%. Even Alaska, let's see, yeah, probably 57% at this point. You'll see it's starting to shape up like that. 413. Ohio's already gone. But this is what it would have to look like. Jeez, Kamala Harris would win 54% of the popular vote. Hispanic vote, I'm guessing in her prediction, it would have gone up to 70% because of one stupid comment. A joke that, by fact, no one had a problem with. Some people had a problem with it, but that's their problem. They just didn't laugh. Okay, you see, she didn't predict Ohio. That was probably the one thing that she was right about. In order for Ohio to go back, I'm not sure how that would be the case, actually. But, and even Alaska. She was pretty good about Alaska. But, let's just say, let's see, Trump regains a little. Oh. Yeah, now it looks like this. Trying to bring Alaska down. Nope. Okay. Let's see, student vote. There we go. Now it looks like her prediction. There we go. I actually thought we wouldn't do it. Unless I'm totally blanking out and I'm missing a state, but I honestly don't care. 396. If this prediction was right, Kamala Harris would win 54.5% of the popular vote. 87 million votes to Donald Trump's 66 million votes. 41.7% of the popular vote. Then again, I understand Iowa was going more blue compared to Florida. But then again, she doesn't really understand how demographics works. But we don't expect her to, right? But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to our video? This very goofy video. And yeah, then again, 15% gap. I doubt that would be the case. Let's see. Here we go. Fix that. Okay. What do you guys think in regards to our prediction? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.